We'll just wait for 2 minutes and we'll start.
Done. Done.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, friends. So we'll start our journey to meditation. To whomever it is the first time, please find a nice posture. If you're sitting down, cross your legs and clasp your hands and let your spine be straight as much as you can, and gently close your eyes. Meditation is just to observe the natural, normal, easy breathing process, just how we exhale and inhale. I'll play the I'll play the nice music. With this music, let us go deep and let us focus. Today's topic is letting go. So let us go through this session now. Let us start this one. Please close your eyes, clasp your hands. So get comfortable, my dear friends. This is your time now. So leave all your worries at the door. Allow yourself to relax into the flow of the moment. There is only one thing right here, right now. Tell your body to relax. Let your feet and legs soften into position. Drop your shoulders, relax your hands. Allow your full body to soften down and relax into a natural position. Take a deep cleansing. Breathe in and let it flow out again. While breathing out, you're releasing all the tensions, all the worries in your body. Do not control your breath, rather, allow your breathing to fall into its own natural rhythm. Keep your awareness to your breath. Gently inhale and exhale. Notice the cool sensation as it goes in through your nose, down the back of your throat, and into your lungs. Then notice as it leaves again back through your throat and nose. Let your breathing fall into its natural rhythm. Just observe only the inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Settle yourself into your body's rhythm. Settle yourself into your body's rhythm. Let it calm you. Let it help you to let go. And let it bring you here to this breath and to this moment. Dear friends, slowly put your hands on your eyes and let your body absorb all the energy from your hands. Now, slowly remove your hands and gently open your eyes. Relax. And, friends, you can unmute yourself if you want to share your experience. Friends?
Hey Neelima, this is Kavita.
Hi, hi Kavita ji.
Hello. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful meditation. It was very peaceful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you liked it.
Yes, it was very soothing. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello, Master Neelima.
Hi, hi Saher.
Are you missed your sessions or me? I missed your sessions, but
No, I'm taking after a long time. Don't worry.
yes, yes, we missed you. But unfortunately, I caught it. I just logged in now when you were saying rub your hands and put it on your eyes. So I just rubbed my hands and put it in
Oh
my
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
So I will catch it now on YouTube after we finish the book reading. But
Yes.
I wanted just to say hi and I will meditate with your session later. I know that it is with the group and live has a different feeling, but you left your intention already in the session, so it is recorded with the recording. So
Thank you.
thank you, Nelima.
Thank you, Saher.
Thank you.
So nice to hear from you. Yes,
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
thank you.
Hi
Hi
Neelima.
Neelima, this is Swapna here. Oh, sorry, please go on.
Ha-
No worries, Swapna Garu. Please go ahead. Yeah, thank you so much, Neelima. I joined late, but the moment I sat, I started feeling a lot of energy, especially on Sahasrara. So it's
ah,
very good. The
yes.
music was breaking in between. Was it only for me?
No, no, no. It's for everyone. There is a little bit of my headset. There is an issue, and sorry for that. I'm just
No,
correcting
no,
it.
no problem. I just wanted to ensure that it's not on my side. That's it.
No,
But
no, no. It's not for you.
thank you. Great energies. Thank you.
Thank you, Swapna ji. Thank you. I mean, I honestly also feel that once we started these sessions, like Madhu and Ram, they had initiated these sessions of slowly going into this 3 hours journey, and from then I can clearly observe that our group consciousness has got completely changed. So there are a lot and lot of energies we are receiving in this oneness circle that we are doing every day. So I'm
Very
glad that
true. Very
everyone
true.
are observing.
Yes, I mean, I can connect with this group so well, even though I do like 2 hour long meditations.
Hmm.
But the energy and the peace that I get from these sessions is like beautifully amazing.
Yes, yes. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you.
Thank you, Sapna ji.
Hi,
Hi
Neelima.
Neelima, Lakshmi here.
Sorry to interrupt, Lakshmi ji. Sorry, before Usha, we have muted twice her.
Okay, okay.
No
Yes.
worries, Lakshmi Garu. Please go ahead. It's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now,
Thank
today
you,
is
Shaji.
my first session, and yes, it was great. Like, never I meditated for 30 minutes. I used to do only for 10 minutes or something. But having meditated for 30 minutes is really great. I got my body completely relaxed, and I want to practice it going forward also.
Wow.
And after talking to Madhu from last session, though it was a painting session, but she made us to meditate for 10 minutes. What I have observed within myself is I have got rid of so many negative thoughts in my mind just because of 10 minutes. So that made me to join this session as well. So yes, it is very beneficial and relaxing and soothing.
Yes, yes. Madhu really has got really great energies, Lakshmi ji. So, uh,
Yes, I can feel that because after talking to her, really, I've all my negative thoughts have gone, and I'm getting a peaceful sleep. To be
wow,
frank,
wow.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Since this is your like second time of doing meditation, I would always recommend you to be in the group and meditate, and that's how you get connected to meditation very easily and very
Sure, sure.
fastly.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes.
Perfect.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. Thank you, Lakshmi ji. Yeah. Any other?
Probably I can go now.
Now this is your time.
This is my turn. Yes. Thank you so much, Nilima, for a wonderful session. It was indeed, yeah, felt very relaxed. And yeah, I don't know, I was probably not here when you started playing the music. Yeah, I could observe that probably. I thought it was a technical issue. Then I thought, okay, I was gone. I was gone forever
Oh
until
yeah.
unless you brought us back. Thank you for a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Shaji. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hi Nilima, this is Sureka.
Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Sarika.
this is my first time joining, and this time actually, I know thanks to time change, I guess this time is great and it works for me. So I joined little late though. It was
Wow.
amazing. It was beautiful, and I could just once I logged in, I could feel the energies, even though it
Wow.
was just for few minutes. Yeah, I felt the same as Swapna. I was disconnecting like on and off. I thought it was on my side.
I'm
So,
really very sorry, friends, for
no,
that.
no, that's okay. But I cross checked again. I thought maybe it's something to do with my phone or my headset. But again,
No,
I thought maybe
actually,
it's
when
my
I
first
start
day. So let me
speaking,
just
it.
hang.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
It was awesome. It was really beautiful. Yes, I love the music. So this was like pre-recorded, or is it like somebody's playing the
No,
bells
there is
sound?
the bell sound is like a pre-recorded one. So,
Okay,
and if you go to Beam Meditation, you can always listen to all the musics we play.
okay.
In
So the musics are in somewhere stored in a Google Drive or something, Neelima. If you want to just get the bell sounds, like when we are doing our on our own, like I'm in the
I'm
Beam family WhatsApp group, but I don't think I have seen anywhere like the music being stored somewhere or something.
no, no, no. It's not on Google Drive. Like everyday
Mm,
sessions, we are recording on YouTube. So if you go to Beam Meditation channel in YouTube, you can listen to this session, live
okay.
session. But some musics are, stored in our laptops. It's not on available on YouTube or any other thing.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
yeah. So if you want, this is. So by the way, is this the first time that you're doing meditation or you're
No,
introduced?
no. I've been doing for last 6 months. I'm in inner journey also. I
Uh-huh.
mean, but joining the Beams meditation in this time, like as first day, I've been trying to join Beams meditation sessions, but it's always I have a conflict with the time. I know it's in like night 11 o'clock for us, or you know during the day it was 11, but now I think because of the 1 hour shift, this is like great. 12 is like perfect time. So
Okay, so you're from
yeah,
US.
I'm from Texas. Yes,
Ah,
Austin.
okay, okay. Nice to hear. Nice to get to connected to all of the
Yeah,
beautiful masters across the world.
Yes. I love this group because I'm a big fan of music, and I do follow like sometimes on YouTube the recorded ones, but the live and during the day, this is like my first time joining
Thank
and
you.
staying there. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Sureka Garu. Thank you so much.
Sorry to interrupt. Sureka, if just in case if you wanted to meditate on your own, you can go into Saher's music also, which is wonderful if you're meditating all alone with the gong and
Okay.
everything.
Who is
Uh,
it? Okay.
yeah, it's I think Evolve. Saher, you can correct me if I'm taking the name wrong.
It's on
It's
YouTube. Is
yeah,
it
it's
on
on
YouTube?
YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on, and if you are meditating all by yourself, oh yeah, it's really wonderful. It's the
Yeah, I'm
nature with
looking
the
for some
gong,
good
and as well
music
as
actually. Yeah.
it's
Maybe
American
can you
flute,
type
I
the
guess.
name? Can you type the name, Ushaji, there?
Yeah, sure, probably I can share it again, or probably Saher can share it in the group. It's really wonderful.
Okay. Thank you, Shagaru.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ushaji. Yeah. Yeah. So, Madhu, maybe it's your turn now. You can continue with the book reading. So, friends, now Madhu will continue.
Thank you so much, Neelima. That was really beautiful session, and thanks to all our friends that they have shared the beautiful experiences, and friends from YouTube also who have joined. They shared that the meditation was really beautiful, Neelima. Thank you once again.
Wow, I'm very glad. I'm getting benefited with this group, I can sense the energies totally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. So, friends, from next week's Master Neelima will be taking sessions on every Fridays, and whenever she's available, she will be guiding us. So it is wonderful that she's coming forward and she's guiding us. Thanks once again, Neelima. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's really wonderful. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine, Madhu. I have to say that thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Mm.
Yes. And thanks also
It's
for the link that you have shared of Sahir's
Yes,
music.
yes,
So,
yes. Friends, I have put the link of Saher's YouTube channel. As Usha is telling, Saher's music is amazing. It's like Saher and a few other friends from Egypt. They all combinedly they're doing this music, and it's amazing. And Sneha also had contributed to this, and Sneha's and Saher's music together. I have just recently I've heard it, and I played in one of the sessions as well. It is really beautiful, very energetic. So please do meditate with those music, and please write in comments what you experience, because and also you can share it in your groups. It will help many to get deeper into the meditation with the music. Music always helps, friends. Yeah. So,
Madhu,
and
Usha, thank you so much.
no, you are
Yeah,
amazing,
it's not
Sahar.
my music, but just a correction, it's not my music, it's our music because it's contributions from all the friends. I just mix it and put some things on it. So mainly it's the others.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You are
And
amazing,
something I
Sahar.
want to mention
Please, Sahar.
to Nelima, to thank her for the idea of the 40 days 3 hours challenge.
Yeah.
It has changed a lot in me, really, in my consciousness and my things deep inside. And also, it has an amazing result now that I can meditate for maybe 1 minute at work or something.
Wow.
I just, when I talk to somebody or something, I just close my eyes when I sit in the office, and then I can do
Mm.
it for 1 minute and go deep and go back again. That's not supposed to happen, I think.
wow.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it has to be, Sahar. And I'm glad that you're, experiencing that. It's
Yeah,
like you are
thanks to Nelly,
living
man. Thanks to you
meditation.
and Ram.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great,
And
great,
and
Sahar.
it was amazing idea from Nelima.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. It's not my idea, Saher. It's
Oh.
Madhu and Ram's only. So you should have to thank them first of all.
I stopped thanking them from a long time ago because I cannot express the gratitude for them. So thanking is not enough. So I
But
stopped.
I have to say that their thought is for me because most of the sessions of those 40 days, I'm like very much active. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you and thank Ram and Madhu and all the group as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Saher. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Madhu.
So, all right, friends, then um, let us get into the story part of the Buddha's wife. Let us know more about Yashodhara. I want you all to close your eyes while I'm doing this. Today we will be reading 6 chapters. They are very small chapters. It doesn't take much time, but just let us go back to that times. The other nuns and I had never heard the details of Yashodhara's dark time. We sat in the stillness, listening to every word and nuance. Now, looking back, Yashodhara went on. I realized that I could not leave and try to follow him. I could never leave our child. It was unimaginable. The most painful part and the most terrifying was that he had closed the door on our deeply shared inquiry into the spiritual meaning of our lives, of our shared life, our shared spirit. No more. Now I was all alone. In the sanctuary's candlelight, her face showed the depth of that loneliness, the abyss into which she had plunged so many years before. She breathed in and out, came back up from that death. She went on. The chasm between this savage grief, this plunge into darkness, and the effort of staying present for my child, the joy of holding this new life, these are the conditions of ordinary human life and suffering. There is suffering in all lives, but there comes at least one moment in every life when extreme suffering knocks on the door, a ripe moment. She paused and pushed aside a lock of her dark hair so that it again framed her face. And so, dear ones, we must ask, what are the ripe conditions? Her eyes were both steady and in movement, holding each of us sitting around her and Pajapati, and moving on so that we all felt the touch of them like a lingering caress. Under ripe conditions, this ordinary path has extraordinary power to sustain our lives and can lead us toward enlightenment. When Yashodhara cried out, everyone heard it. Her wail of grief was echoed by the animals in the palace, animal to animal, from the royal dogs to the peacocks in the garden, even to the rock solid white elephant that Siddhartha had been given when he had won her hand in marriage. Her cries brought the women rushing into her chamber. First, her servant, Rohini, and then the others. They found her sitting on the floor, arms tightly clasped around herself, rocking. The baby was on the bed, fitful. Two servants went to her, another to the baby. They tried to comfort Yashodhara, but she pushed them away. Someone went to find Queen Pajapati. When Pajapati appeared, Yashodhara screamed, Gone! Your son is gone forever! Pajapati saw a wild terror in Yashodhara's eyes as they desperately raised here and there to every face, searching the faces and the chamber itself for some answer. Pajapati understood at once, and it hit her in the belly, a blow of sorrow rocking her on her feet. But she understood from her past losses and sufferings that her focus now had to be on Yashodhara. Without a word, Prajapati walked slowly toward Yashodhara, who was still huddled on the floor. The queen stood before her and opened her arms to hold her. As Prajapati came toward her, Yashodhara felt as if a great kindness was approaching. Even, yes, as if a goddess had appeared. Prajapati was standing so tall and alert, but so very calm. Yashodhara was drawn to her eyes, so wide and reflecting her own shock. Yashodhara realized then that in Prajapati's eyes was more, something else beyond shock, something powerful, pure and powerful. It was compassion. Their eyes met and held. Yashodhara rose. Prajapati took her in her arms and asked Yashodhara to tell her what had happened. She did. Is he really gone? Prajapati asked. Yes, I am sure. Later, Yashodhara would come to understand that the depth of her grief and the presence of a newborn baby had called up in Prajapati's memories of her own experience 30 years before, when Maya, her beloved sister, died after giving birth to Siddhartha. Prajapati had taken the infant into her arms and had raised him as her son. She recalled simultaneously feeling devastated by the grief of death and the call to life, to care for the child. Finding Yashodhara in such distress had brought it all back vividly, and she was overwhelmed by what this would mean to her to lose her own son, Siddhartha, now. But holding Yashodhara in her arms, feeling her whole body shuddering uncontrollably against the embrace, all at once she realized that she was more experienced in grief than Yashodhara, who had not suffered in love before, had never lost anything that she held so close to her heart. But Japati knew she had to rise again, to mother and strengthen Yashodhara. In that moment, she surprised herself with strength and clarity that arose in her tight embrace of this dear child suffering. And then, what this would mean to Yashodhara's newborn baby, echoing down and up through all generations. All of this spread out before her as a story being told from mother to mother, child to child, from time past to time future. She had a moment of clarity, strong as stone. What has been is, what is will be. What matters is now. What has been is, what is will be. What matters is now. Come, dearest, she said, pulling away so that Yashodhara could look into her eyes. Look at me, dear. Yashodhara blinked, and their eyes met and held for just an instant. Pajapati sent the others away. The two women went to the newborn baby, and all lay down together on the bed. After a while, Yashodhara began to weep again. Sobs tore at her body. I have no idea how long we lay there together, Yashodhara said, glancing at the frail body of Pajapati, who was lying quite still, with her eyes closed. Yashodhara looked at each of us circled around her and continued. But when my sobs stopped, I raised from my head from Pajapati's breast and sat up, looking again into her eyes. Her gaze was penetrating and steady, holding me there as her arms had, and then with care, she spoke to me these powerful words. He has left to find his way through suffering. You must do that here, now. We are with you in this. All of us are with you. I know that in this moment it is impossible to believe, but you must listen. I found a way. We will find a way, and you will find your way. Your child needs you, as Siddhartha needed me. A new door has opened for you, and you will walk through it with us. This is the path of the ones who stay, who endure, who come forth with each other in love. Like Siddhartha, this is your first taste of what everyone must feel of suffering. In this deeply shared moment with Prajapati, Yashodhara said, I heard Siddhartha's voice in my head telling me how he had lost his son and how he had felt so alone. He had felt so alone. He had felt so alone. those we love. For the first time, I felt his presence and joined with him for an instant in facing this truth. That's when Pajapati turned to my servant Rohini and said, "Tell the other woman that she must never be alone." As Yashodhara paused, I looked up at her face, and for a second her eyes caught mine. In our listening circle in the sanctuary, the other nuns and I felt the emotion that Yashodhara was once again experiencing from so many years ago. Pajapati's presence rippled through us and the words. In Pajapati's act of coming to me in my desperation, she went on, I had a first glimpse of how suffering and compassion co arise. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the sufferer is deeply heard, compassion and insight arise. When the sufferer is deeply heard, compassion and insight arise. Everything the listener has learned, all the wisdom comes to bear on this moment, and a right creative response arises, sometimes going beyond what the listener ever knew she had in her. The energy of love and compassion generates a right action for that moment. It was not there before. It actually is an arising in the momentum of the relation. Wisdom co arising to meet suffering in the act of relating. Yashodhara smiled at us and spoke the words of the familiar chant. Compassion follows suffering as a cart follows the ox. In suffering, she who comes, who offers love and hope, and the truth of the path, she who has seen everything and is still smiling, opens the door to the end of suffering. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. Compassion follows suffering as a cart follows the ox. In suffering, she who comes, who offers love and hope, and the truth of the path, she who has seen everything and is still smiling, opens the door to the end of suffering. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. She turned to Pajapati and stroked her sallow cheek. Pajapati's eyes opened and showed her gratitude. Perhaps she nodded, perhaps not. Yashodhara turned back to us and sat with us in silence for a while. In that bamboo grove, as our silence deepened, the night sounds grew in the fertile, still air. An owl, a peacock, perhaps a deer or a tiger. Out of the stillness came a voice, Yashodhara's voice. Unless we agree to be with suffering, to be with ourselves and each other in suffering, she said, so softly that the words themselves seemed just another sound of the night. We cannot be free of suffering. Unless we agree to be with suffering, to be with ourselves and each other in suffering, we cannot be free of suffering. For the first time in her life, Yashodhara was torn between life and death, between joining the living or joining the dead. Pajapati worried that Yashodhara might take her life and had arranged for someone to be with her in waking and sleeping, helping her to care for her newborn baby. Firmly giving Yashodhara the infant to nurse seemed to rouse her out of her grief momentarily. But her dark feelings, shock, shame, fear, suspicion, rage, and disorientation replaced all the sweet and gentle moments of her former life. And she felt a raw humiliation. Her pride had been deeply wounded. In all the faces around her, Yashodhara could see the question, how could this happen? Over and over, the demon circled. How dare he do this to me, to his son? Was I too understanding, not strong enough? Each day, over and over, she questioned Chenna. Had this been planned? Had he ever said anything to you about leaving? No. Did he know the monk who came out of the woods, or was it by chance? It seemed by chance. But you are not sure. No, I am not. So he could have planned it. Strange. Alien thoughts came to her, erupting in slashes of more questions. When? Why? Could he not bear to stay and become a father? Or bear me as a mother? Now that he has fulfilled his duty to provide a male heir, is he free to leave? Had he been waiting, planning for this chance? Was everything he said to me false, a lie? Did I ever really know the real Siddhartha? Channa stood there before her, a solid body seeming to wither under these questions, but said nothing. Answer me. Silence. He has shut the door on me, and I have to understand. Tell me, Channa said angrily. He shut the door on me too. Then he turned and left. What do I care about him? She said to herself. Channa's grief is nothing compared to mine. And the next day, it would be the same questions over and over again and no answers. Channa never refused to come back. He stayed close to her, but he had no answers that helped. Siddhartha's horse, Kantaka, refused to eat or drink, lay down in his stall of gold-rimmed hitching post and throws, and died a few days later. Watching this majestic and beloved animal sicken and die, Yashodhara knew that this could be her. The feelings of grief terrified her. The grief seemed larger than her body or mind could ever hold. Rumination overwhelmed her, like voices whispering. She could not eat or sleep. Often, in the heat, she shivered and could not get warm. Putting on a robe, she was drenched in sweat and flung it off away. Yashodhara could not stop telling the story over and over to everyone, to anyone who would listen, not imagining that anyone had ever lived through such vast grief as hers. The king, Siddhartha's father, finally came. He told her that he sensed that his son would be gone for a long time, possibly never to return, and that she must start being the mother of his grandson. Stop crying for him, he told her, as if issuing a royal command, and start caring for your child. Get out of my chamber, she shouted. If you won't take care of your baby, he shouted back, the queen will. Soon after that, Yashodhara fell into silence. She withdrew from those closest to her and even from her baby, who was being nursed by a servant. She would not leave her chamber. I can't live without Siddhartha, she said to Pajapati one day, when she had been coaxed out to her private garden. I am going to die. You will get through this time of grief, dear one, Pajapati replied, and your determination will benefit others. No, I don't have the spirit in me anymore. I feel dead. I don't know what's real. Stay close with us, Pajapati said again. Something she said to Yashodhara often. Let us be with you in time. Your spirit will return in a new way. I am tired. Leave me alone. Everything before my eyes is black. Then look to your baby. He needs you to live. Yashodhara turned away from her and walked back inside. Together with Pajapati, the woman who had been keeping watch over Yashodhara and her baby soon understood that it was too consuming for each of them to care for her alone. She was angry and bitter, withdrawn and lethargic. There was no respite from her bitterness and guilt. To be alone with her was too painful for any one of them, for any length of time. And so Pajapati arranged for Yashodhara and all the other women of the palace to gather together at dawn in a grove of pines shaded by the deep green of the ancient trees. Beside a pool there, a small Hindu temple had served as a sacred site for their millennia, a doorway for their prayers to the panoply of gods. It had become known as a temple of the goddess of fertility, where Yashodhara and Siddhartha had made many offerings and prayers before she became pregnant. One morning, the women of the palace and their servants waited in the cool, misty air. They listened as the birds began their day. Prajapati entered with Yashodhara, supporting her by the arm. Yashodhara, head downcast, sat down in the grove. Her body seemed to have caved in. Her face was flat and her eyes puffy, mere slits. The others sat in a close circle around her. One woman lit incense. Prajapati began to chant the Hindu prayers. It was as if the energy that existed on the ground in the grove, beneath those ancient trees and beside that pool and temple, was being called forth to meet the desperate Yashodhara and the circle around her. The dawn prayers and shared chants, the moments of silence, seemed to gather the old, deep energies of the earth and nature to focus it amongst the circle of women. Yashodhara's tears seemed unending. She wept in silence. The gathering that morning didn't last long. There was work to do, but it had a calming effect. The women decided to meet again at dusk, and this simple ritual practice seemed to take hold and then take shape. The morning prayers were chanted to ask for help for the day from the goddesses and gods. The evening gathering was to give thanks to all the gods for their daily care, asking for help, giving thanks every morning, every evening. They called it this gathering at the grove, the circle of compassion, asking for help, giving thanks, asking, giving, help, thanks, day after day, without exception, no matter what. And finally, a day came when Yashodhara began to speak, to talk about her pain. And she wouldn't stop. She would tell her story repeatedly, and at first was listened to intently by everyone. But after a while, it started to become a burden for the other women, hearing the same thing again and again. Prajapati realized that Yashodhara needed not only to speak, but to listen, and listen deeply. She tried to help Yashodhara to understand. Dear one, she said, the only thing in your mind is your grief, circling and circling without end. You are obsessed with it. Any obsession is a turning away from the act of living, from life itself. Any obsession is a turning away from the act of living, from life itself. The only way out is through being in relationship with others. I don't know how to do that now. What else can I say to them? They haven't suffered like me, so publicly, shamed in the sight of the whole world. That's how you see it, and that's all you see. You would be surprised at what all the rest of us have lived through, especially we older ones. Shame, yes, and worse. But I don't know what to say to them, what to do. Do you want to help them? Yes, then do nothing. But nothing? I'm doing nothing and it's destroying me. Let me finish. They stared at each other. Yashodhara felt herself about to go down the usual path of words carried by bitterness and resentment. But this time she stopped herself. Go on. Do nothing except what you are doing for me right now. What's that? Listening. Just listen. You don't need to lift a finger. Just listen. and take in what the other person is saying and feeling and being. And you don't need to do or say a thing. Can you do that? Silence your own mind to receive theirs? I don't know. Just try. Yashodhara felt a hit of anger at this conviction, this treating her like a child, but she agreed. I will. In the following days in the circle, each of the women began to share her own life stories and daily learnings. Periods of speaking and listening in silence became the rhythm of the circle. They became part of the daily ritual. Wisdom and compassion grew. I remember, said Yashodhara to us, smiling, how I came to see our circle as sacred, holding all of us with love and compassion, arising like a fire in the forest, burning away the undergrowth in our minds. It not only warmed us, but surrounded and held us all, infusing each of us with a certain clarity. Each became part of the whole, no longer separate but illuminated by the fire's light. And after a while, I have no idea how long it was. I no longer sat in the center of the circle. I moved to be part of the circle. I no longer sat in the center of the circle. I moved to be the part of the circle. Instead of everyone turning into me, each turned to each other in the circle, and I joined in that turning to the others. It was at that moment that, looking back, I can say I began to heal. Yashodhara looked to Prajapati again and went on. Prajapati told me how she came to understand that something had been created of great value beyond what she had even imagined. She saw the circle as a vessel containing earth and water, a well of compassion able to create and nurture new energy, new life, new understanding, and wisdom. The heart of each person opening, becoming a channel of that compassion, and the whole circle infused with it, available to all. Weeks later, a young child in the palace became ill and died suddenly. The mother, Naila, was a servant of another of the palace royalty. The women and men gathered at the cremation grounds. The cremation of an adult often took half a day and part of a night. At the shore of a river, a distant, small source of great Ganges, the cremation grounds in the kingdom of Kapila was, in miniature, a copy of the ancient sacred city of the dead in Benares. There, dozens of cremation grounds were tended by the untouchables, who were experts in knowing how much wood, fire, air, earth, and water needed to come together to do their solemn work. The small pile of wood, the tiny wrapped bundle, all seemed too small, too fragile for death and burning, too brutal and unjust. The flames finished their part too soon, much too soon, in a few hours. After the cremation, the mother of the child refused to leave the cremation grounds. She sat, watching as the smoke died, as a child sized pile of ashes cooled, settled into dust. Eventually, the men left, but for her husband. The woman could not leave the grieving mother, neither the royal women nor their servants. Their hearts, as mothers and daughters, had been torn open to see this child, whom they had all known, energetic, playing in the gardens of the palace just a few days ago, now turned to dust. For Yashodhara, the pain was severe. Rahula was healthy and happy, but death was so near. A tap on baby's shoulder that could come at any time, as his father had gone at any time, here, gone. staring at this young mother, only a little younger than she herself. Yashodhara found herself sobbing, not only for her, but for all the mothers, all sons and daughters, all who are born and must die, clenched in the metal hand of death. Chenna, who had taken upon himself the supervision of cremations, also stayed at some distance away. He and Yashodhara had become much closer through their shared betrayal, their sensing the doors closing on their hope to see Siddhartha again. Night came, and with it, the first night rain. Many of the women wanted to leave and try to get the mother to come back to the palace with them. She refused. Come, said Yashodhara to them. Let's form our circle. They began to move, and as if on its own, a live thing, the circle began to form, starting on either side of the mother. There were so many women who had stayed. The circle was large enough to move all the way around and include at its center, where the fire had been and where the ashes now were. The women all sat. Yashodhara noticed that Channa and the woman's husband were still there, sitting apart, and she gestured to them to join the circle. They hesitated, shook their heads no. Please come in, said Pajapati. We invite you in. Be with your wife as we are. The husband looked to Channa to follow his lead. Channa looked at Yashodhara. She stretched out her hand to him and said, Come with his usual difficulty in rising from a sitting posture. Channa stood, and he and the husband walked to the circle. Pajapati gestured for the husband to sit with his wife. Channa sat beside Yashodhara. The rain came harder. Soon, the bright colored funeral saris were sticking to their bodies, their scarves hanging down and molding to their heads so that they might have seemed, to an ignorant observer, to be an shadowy group of poor monks with no shelter to go to, or who were praying to the rain gods in the dark night. A sect of lost and tired ascetics, even flagellants. But afterward, many of them would remember it in the same way, not as a chilling rain of rebuke and despair, but as a spring rain, soft and promising. So that's all for today, friends. Uh, yeah, I think this book is very small and very interesting, very, very simple lessons to learn. And yeah, yes, Usha,
And
go ahead, Usha.
thank you so much, Madhu. Just to remind us ourselves that death is inevitable. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Usha. I
I
know, Saher. Yes, please go ahead. Yes, Kavita,
I
please
like
go
the
ahead.
part where she was saying she stopped sitting in front of in the middle of circle and she
Yes,
started sitting on the
yes,
circle. uh,
yes,
that really makes a lot of sense in day to day life as well. If we
mm,
have to relate in our different scenarios that we face.
yeah. That's the reason why I press on the very important lines, because I read it twice so that it will stay with us. Once if we read it, sometimes we miss it. That's why I'm reading it twice, because these simple lines make a lot of sense. As Kavita was saying that these lines where Yashodhara was in the center of the circle, that means everybody were noticing Yashodhara as if she's the boss. But what she did later is she realized that everybody is going through the same pain. So she moved from being in the center and she became a part. So we should be, like, I think we can learn from it. Like we should all be in the group. It's not like there is no lead. There should be no lead. Everybody is equal. So everybody have their own suffering and everybody have their own lessons. So this is very, very nice point. And each points, when we are in suffering, we only, think we are the only ones who are suffering. Only when we try to listen, as Pajapati is telling, just listen. You are not you are not alone in this whole world who is suffering. There are many who are suffering. Just listen to their experiences. And when you listen to their experiences, it's easily, we can come out of the suffering. We can end the suffering. So these three simple lines, wow, wonderful, wonderful. So much to learn. Yeah. Anybody else want to share?
Yes,
Thank
Madhu.
you, Balaji. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Nilima.
yeah. It's a wonderful book. When you're saying, I can literally feel again the whole circle of how they evolved and how much pressure also, she took, and she came out of that,
Mm,
from being in the from the middle of the circle to be belong to the circle instead.
exactly,
Yeah, and
exactly.
also these days I have understood that as a humans we always tend to connect something logically. Like if we
Mhm,
don't have any answer with our logical minds, that
mm,
is where our suffering also will come. That is the
mm,
root cause also of our suffering. But these days I have understood, for some things, if we want to, we just need to let go without any thinking.
yeah,
For some things there are no solutions, and it is just through acceptance we have to go through the each
yeah,
and every step. Yeah, this is what I also understood these days. Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you, Nilima.
Thank you, Madhu.
Yeah. Anybody else, friends? Thanks, Sureka. Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, Archana.
Hey, Madhu.
Hey, Archana.
Yeah, hi. I didn't understand the significance of the last few lines, like why were they doing that? Mm,
Mm,
Whatever they were doing. I mean, I really.
can you? Okay. You mean that uh, where the mother was crying
Huh.
and in the cremation
Yeah,
grounds, right?
right, right. Cremation grounds.
So I think Archana, those were the times where we become very, uh, the one who is suffering uh, will be so fragile, very delicate, so at that time it's just we don't need to share our words and suggest her not to cry or something like that, but
Mm,
just being available to that mother, and that gives so much strength that I am not left over, I am not alone in my suffering, everybody is here with me to support. So I think this is what they did at the end. They all made a circle so that
hmm.
they can share this pain what the mother is going through.
Got you, got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I understood. Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
she came out of
it's
the cycle because she's not the main, because everyone are going through the same emotions. Um, so probably that's why she came out of the circle and she was a part of a circle instead of being in.
Yashodhara. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yashodhara.
Yashodhara.
Yes.
Yeah, Yashodhara.
Because
Oh.
before that she was saying
Hmm.
she was the center, like
Hmm.
she was the only one who is undergoing through a lot of pains.
Right.
But
Right.
when she started to listen to everybody, she understood that
Hmm.
she herself is not the alone. She is not
She's
the
not
only
alone.
person who's going through. So then she moved
Got it.
from
Got
the
it.
limelight and going to the
Mm-hmm.
part of the circle, to becoming
Part
a
of the
part
circle.
of the
Part
circles.
of the circle.
I
Got it.
think
Got
this
it.
we should all practice it,
I know, right? So different.
everyone should practice it. I know we have so many friends, we have so much of a family who are going through a lot of things. I think what we can do is we can just extend our hand, extend our ear to them, that listen to them, than we speaking some blah blah blah. Just listen to them, what is going on in their lives. Once they share, once they open up, and then that's how this circle of compassion, what
Hmm.
Pajapati and Yashodhara had created, we can also create our own circles.
All little
It
circles.
will be
Right, right.
really beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing, right? What they expressed in this last part. It's such a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, how nice. Hmm.
Nice. So
Thank you.
that's good.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Madhu.
Archana. Thank you. Anybody else, friends? And thank you so much, Sylvie. who has written in YouTube, and the Basmita ji, and also Rosie Francis. Thank you so much. Yeah, anybody else, friends? And whichever you liked in this from this book, I want you to write, as we have also discussed about the untold story of Sita. So if at all there is any point that you liked and you can elaborate that point, sharing your views, you can write it in the WhatsApp group. It will be really inspiring, because it's again, as this Beam family is not only it's for everybody. You can put all your views, you can share everything, whatever you feel like, so that we can learn from each other and we can be together. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Hello.
Is Sahar?
Actually, for a few years, I was wondering.
Mhm.
Every time I read about Buddha and how, and especially the phase of his life when he started to wander and left his family,
Mhm.
I was wondering. Nobody mentions his wife and what happened to her and his son and so on.
Yeah.
So the answer came now. So I'm very excited to continue the book with you.
Yeah, that's great,
I'm
Sahar.
very
Yeah.
happy to know about her.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
all, see, there are very few texts about Yashodhara, the wife of Buddha, but the author Janet and Samuel, what they did is they have elaborated it. They have
yeah,
visualized it. It could be this is how she might have led her life after Siddhartha, who later became Gautama Buddha.
yeah.
How she with her son along with the community, maybe they have lived. So
Yeah. Sure, you cannot get the full
because
story
the full
because it was
story, because
ancient thing. Yeah, and nobody
yes.
was emphasizing on her story. The
Mm,
whole
mm,
emphasis was in
on
Siddhartha
Buddha.
himself. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you for choosing this book, and thank you for giving
Thank you, Sahar.
life. Really, so much life to what you say.
Yeah,
Really, yeah, because you
yeah.
feel it.
Thank
So
you,
thank you so
Sahar.
much, Madhu. Thank
Yes, I
you.
feel it. Thank you, Sahar. Yeah. Anybody else, friends? All right. So, so we will all see each again tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Germany time, which is 10:30 a.m. India time and 7 a.m. Egypt time. We'll be having a session by Master Sharu. So please do join us. And evening at this time, we will all meet again. I'll make sure that I will go long because since this book is very small, so we can finish it and we can learn from it by making few points later. All right. See you all again tomorrow. Till then, have a lovely day, a lovely evening, and a lovely night. Namaste to all.